to the debate in a different direction, and I want to talk about inclusion in the sense of inclusion of the local communities and the ethnic minorities who we on the opposition think really should be benefiting from these Olympics. But firstly, I want to attack some of the points that the other side have been making. So firstly, we've kind of highlighted this idea that the whole substantive of the proposition's case is that it's okay to do all these things, it's okay to infringe upon people's freedoms and rights that they call a distraction. It's okay just in case a terrorist attack might happen. And I pose the question to the proposition, what are you going to do if after the 6 weeks there is no major security threat? What if all of your efforts and all of the money and all of the bad things that you've done to the communities and all the detrimental effects that you've had on society, what if they've all been in vain? And we say these harms are a lot more crucial to combat instead of the threats that they've highlighted. Also, the first speaker spoke about animosity towards the UK and how there's heightened threat of attack. But we say, what's the problem here is that you're going to breed animosity at home. And we say that's an even greater threat to social mobility and social security that we highlight and we say is a bad thing about this notion. Also, the Olympic legacy. What's the Olympic legacy if there's a major terrorist attack and that's what we remember it by? But we also pose the question to you is, we don't want another Athens on our hands. We don't want major Olympic stadiums, major sporting events where the communities can't benefit and the longevity is simply nothing. So there's no major security threat, but what is the legacy if there isn't one? And we say that that's something that we need to look at. So, and also, we spoke about, the other side spoke about temporary inclusion and how it's just this facade that we're putting on for the Olympics. But we say even if it is an idea of temporary inclusion, it's still important. We still need to include communities and we still need to create a sense of citizenship and inclusion at the Olympic Games, even if it is temporary. So, my 2 points today is I'm going to look at inclusion from 2 perspectives. Firstly, I'm going to look at the impact on the local communities and also, more specifically, the impact on ethnic minorities and how these both are being greatly affected by the measures that you've highlighted in your case. So firstly, the locals. Who's paying for the Olympics? We say that increased council tax, increased fare, increased subsidies that are being put towards spending the Olympics. These are going towards the increased security that the proposition are proposing. And we say, what are the locals actually getting out of this increase in security? What they're getting out is in curfews, they're limiting their freedom of speech. They're saying that I can't go out of my house without being bombarded by police officials. I can't go out of my house without the threat of maybe being racially profiled or being stopped and searched. We say that that's a key infringement on the locals' rights, and if we're taking so much, if we're saying that we're going to bring these Olympic Games to your community, but what you're going to get out of this are only bad effects, we say that that's just simply not fair. We say that all of this is even for some people in the community may not even have wanted the Olympics. We say that the government has imposed this major sporting event on a community that's, Borneum is I'll take in a second. It's already quite a poor borough, and we say that we're exploiting the people, we're getting something out of them and not putting enough back. The proposition is saying that we're giving them major sporting facilities, but we say the people who are really benefiting from these Olympic Games are people, the CEOs of the major sporting companies, and also people in richer boroughs who are able to buy the tickets to the Olympic Games. So what do you have to say to that?
If we overinvest in security, people have the inconvenience of the games. If we don't invest in security, people have the inconvenience of the games and the massive risk of harm from the games. And your side is worse.
I don't think that what you're calling an inconvenience is actually just a simple inconvenience, more a greater threat to social mobility. So to go on to my point of ethnic minorities, we say that with increased security, we're looking at things like increased stop and search. And with a history of an increase in security being an increase in police brutality and ethnic minorities feeling like they're being persecuted, we say that already in the Olympic boroughs there's an idea of from ethnic minorities that they're already being specifically targeted by the police, and that there's a disenchantment with the security forces. And we're saying that what we say on the opposition is that this is not going to make the situation any better. Even if you've managed to avert a major terrorist attack, what you're increasing from this motion is you're creating a feeling of victimisation among the local communities. that they're going to feel threatened, and you're putting an idea upon the local communities, and you're making them feel victimised and exploited. So for the point that inclusion temporarily, in any case, is always important to take into consideration, both for the local communities and ethnic minorities who are greatly impacted on by the Olympic Games. We urge you to oppose this motion.